Hello one and all, I'm Polygams and welcome to Hearthstone Hearth Hour. It's back again. It is a Wednesday, so it is time for the most incoherent, understated, odd show I do, I suppose. And this week we are looking at just using a deck what encompasses Overload, the keyword. And I've tried to use stuff from all the sets, you know. I'm going to go through all my choices now and try and get into the swing of things. So I've gone for 2 Thought Lightnings, basically because of Overload. It's quite heavy in terms of giving us a lot of times where we probably won't be able to do a lot or need to synergise very well. So the more advantage we can get from stuff like this, where I can get some good board clear going and kind of stall the opponent out for a bit, is great. We've got single hit removal as well with lightning bolts, as well as it being able to deal damage to the opponent as well. We've got one Dust Devil, mainly because it's golden and I needed a card to finish the deck off, because I only wanted to run 1 Elemental Destruction. 2 Ancestral Knowledge. The deck doesn't have any draw power outside of this card, so it's kind of key that we have some. It's kind of in a way like a weaker Arcane Intellect in a way, I suppose. Crackle, really a stable card worth using, definitely, and going to be a good card for removing high hit stuff, considering we're not using Hex. Lava Shock's really important in this deck, because it's got to be used at key times to ensure that, you know, you kind of make best use of it. Totem Golem, this is where we're going to get a lot of early advantage due to it being quite a strong opening 2 cost card, which can deal with many 3 costs as well. In tandem with stuff like these, follow-up plays, it can really be deadly. Elemental Destructions when you're like behind, and this is very much a catch-up card, especially going into the late game and being able to use a Lava Shock off the back of it. It's really helpful, I find. 2 Feral Spirits, pretty obvious, you know, they're just staple cards for Shaman anyway, but they have the word Overload, so they're definitely worth using. We are using 1 Lava Burst. I think that, you know, for most part, Crackle does its job very well, so it's just a more stabilised version. I might make it 2, but then, you know, it gives us a lot less creatures in the deck to play with. And we're going to the late game where most of our creatures are mainly. We've got 1 more board clear though in Lightning Storm, which once again are very much stable for Shaman, and really helpful in dealing mass amount of targets while maintaining the board yourself. Then our first 3-drop, which hasn't actually got Overload, but it works with Overload, and hopefully we'll be able to get a really strong creature out of it. It's one of the few chances we'll get to play a card without Overload. This and Lava Shock are our only options. And then going into the late game, we've got Dunmaul, Shaman and Fire God Destroyer working for our 4 costs. Having very different effects. Dunmaul's more towards ensuring that we can get... it's more likely to be used in clearing a couple minions out, but equally, you know, 10 damage is nothing to be sniffed at if it's not took care of, and its 50% chance hasn't got another enemy to hit. Whereas Fire God Destroyer is really beefy, potentially a 7-6 or a 4-6, depending on, you know, how high up it gets through it. And an Overload 1 isn't too bad. You're basically saying it's a 5 cost, which is okay. And then we've got 1 Doom Hammer, which is basically used for board clear in the late game, as well as kind of finishing off the opponent when they're at low life, alongside 2 Earth Elementals is just really beefy ends of our kind of cycle stuff. It's kind of, given that we cap out at 5, it's more likely that we'll win in the mid game, hopefully, if we are going to win. By the mid game we have to be in a really strong position, so we're going to play a couple games of this and see how it goes. So the ranked season, we're about midway through, I think. What is it now? Who knows? It's all a blur to me. think it's like October 7th, maybe 6th, I don't know. Whatever the Wednesday is. First Wednesday of Hearthstone Hearth Hour. I got quite a lot of deck ideas. I just came up with a massive list the other day, so I've always got something to go for. I'm going to keep it a surprise though each week, keep it fresh. If you've got any ideas of a class you'd like to see me do a Hearth Hour for, I've got some for each class. I've tried to equal it out. I think Dunmore is no good here. I think all I'm going to keep is Earthbolt, but what we really need to see here is a strong... Well, Fort Lightning is not a bad card actually in this position, given how the Paladin's likely to play. So we'll see. We'll do nothing early. We might have to use a totem next turn. Might aid us in getting some spell damage going for us. Sorry if it was a bit of a lengthy exposition on to my deck choices. Try to keep it as short as possible while trying to give you some idea of why I picked the choice I have. Obviously you can change around, maybe you'll decide you want 2 Lava Bursts and not want the Dust Devil, or just stuff like that, but I feel Dust Devil can really get out of control if they don't have an early answer. Reporting for duty. So at the minute we are totally fine. Overload's not working as intended, maybe, or maybe it is, but we've now got our favourite totem, Wrath of Air, in that we'll now be able to take advantage of all this spell damage goodness. He's probably realised what I've just done, given that I've hovered over my totem and gone, look at all these cards I can use with it. If he's paying attention, he may not be. But next turn I've got to decide what's better, Dunmore, Shaman. Ooh. So I think I'm better off doing this actually. Maybe. Just having a board clear. And now I've got a 1-1 to combat if he just goes for a 1-1. At this point in the game I'm going to be quite strong. Obviously a Consecrate just wipes us out now. It kind of brings us back to square one. However, Unbound Elemental is perfect, and if it goes unopposed this turn, I'm going to be able to get such a boost. The likelihood is I'll go for a 4-drop as well as Crackle, but obviously the next draw is dependent on how it may affect the game. I mean, I might end up getting an Earth Elemental next turn and then I'll pick that over it.
Let me think.
But I mean, this will be testing how good Earth Unbound Elemental can be. I've no idea what we'll be faced with. Opponent's coming up with some like really complex play. Sword of Justice. Ouch. Really taking advantage of all the things available for him.
Reporting for duty.
So, yeah, I think Lightning Bolt's the best option here. And then I think we'll follow up with a Dunmore Shaman, given the state of the field. I'm expecting it to be a get down. No? So it's obviously a competitive spirit then, so we need to be very careful and not allowing his board to get out of control.
To Northrend.
That's the kind of card what will do it. What do I want to keep? I think I'll use this. Now I'm ending up in a really crazy position. I mean, a 6/8 Unbound Elemental. Have you ever seen it? Dadoon's obviously just can't believe what he's done now. Not Aldor. We did not want to see an Aldor.
Well met.
Hi. Do we want to make use of elemental destruction here? Huh. I'm tempted to. Yeah, I think it's best. It hit me for 4, which I'm quite happy about. And follow it up with a totem golem. I didn't actually expect this deck to win a game, but apparently it's like, I found its secret like game to win against, which is Paladin. Token Paladin to be more precise.
Justice.
Forget justice. I'm well on my way to victory. So, do we want to trade off? Not really. I don't mind him just getting a 1, go up to a 7-8. I mean, he can take this out, but I don't mind. Oh, it's not that? Okay. What's he left with as options? I'm trying to think. Avenge, maybe? Mysterious Challenger would be quite tough to take out now. However, we are starting to get damage. I mean, we've got a Crackle in our deck still. Lightning Bolt, I mean, all it would take is that alongside this. I mean, an Earth Shot would be nice to see, actually. Okay, so he's had to prioritise that. So I think we win.
Elements guide me.
Unbound Elemental for the win! Who would have thought it, eh? So it worked out to plan. I mean, granted, we're not at the highest rank, but still. Just to see a deck like this succeed, I'm like totally surprised by. So let's go again. Let's see if we can get an unblemished record with this deck. I feel this deck will probably struggle against more... I mean, probably Paladin in retrospect is probably our best matchup. Or one of our best. Just because it's not got an answer, whereas something like Warrior's more like to have an answer to our Unbound Elemental in the early stages. I quite like this as a hand, actually. I mean, we don't have a 1-drop, but I'm not too worried about searching for a Dust Devil, considering how strong our hand looks. Thinking about if I prefer to coin first turn, and I don't think it's very rewarding to do it that way. Unbound Elemental's kind of something I can't play in the early game due to the risk of a death bite, I think. But just on the basis that if it works out for us, it's going to be really good. I'm going to play it now and hope that Feral Spirit I can play next turn. Given that this is the only turn where death bite won't be a factor for me.
Let the pain speak to me.
Oh, has it worked out? Oh, this is fantastic. So we will now taunt up. I think we'll just trade off. I don't mind early going, trading. Next turn I'm probably going to use Lava Shock as some sort of removal. So here's his Death Spite, which I expected. So here we are going for Totem Golem, actually. Seeing as we haven't got anything to use as removal, and it's a bit wasteful given that it would only get rid of 2, and it's kind of our star card really, Lava Shock. In next turn we've got 4 to play with, so we're likely to draw and go into a Stormforged Axe. Executes. It's a tough one. He's had to use basically all his stuff, given how precarious the game was. And we've just drawn into a perfect card. And to get a 6/6 out of that is really good. That's kind of the close to the best possible scenario. Given actually that he's likely to have a big game hunter because he's a warrior, this is probably even could be considered the best scenario.
Let the pain speak to me.
The thing is, I could try and like clear here by getting into a shall I go for it? I'm tempted to. Do I risk it though? That's the problem, I don't feel it's worth risking it now. Feel very uneasy about doing it.
I wonder.
You know what, I'm going to take a risk, because if it pays off... It did pay off, good. The bonus to that is I can kind of stop any potential shield slam play he has, which is a big risk. I've noticed this graphical error which seems to happen with the rope. Okay, so now he's cleared out of the way. Right, so we need to clear that. So this will be a clear turn. So let's go for a full-on clear, I think.
Elements guide me.
And we're maintaining control, so let's threaten him.
The elements will destroy you.
I'm surprised this deck is doing well. It's just basically because I'm being able to scout out my moves of the weaknesses of the deck, so how best to like complement the playstyle of each class. I mean, here's a Death Spite, so he's now used his second one. Is drawing what we want to do here? I don't know if it is.
Elements guide me.
I think we'll go for Dunmore though, just to give him something to hit and keep his health down. Alex Strauss is obviously going to be a nightmare to see now. But if he doesn't have one, it's going to be very tricky for him to get back in the game. So here's his big Grim Patron play. So he has got quite a lot going on here now because of a Death by activation. He might also have a... that was played out of order. He should have attacked first so that he could get an extra Grim Patron. But there you go. I hate to sound like I'm like over-analysing the game, but I'm trying to give some sort of insight as to how, you know, best to like maximise what you're doing. Let's do some drawing. That would be good if we could get spell damage, because that would allow us to better clear. So he's now having to do some draw, That seems to be the bulk of his turn so far. I think next turn Lava Shock is definitely going to be needed to be played.
Pass me that arc light spanner.
Wind Fury might be an option. Like going for our Doom Hammer. Unstable Ghoul. Whew. Okay, well we definitely want to play our star card, I think. Shall we see if we can get the our favourite totem? No, we can't. So we'll do that. Free up some mana for us. So I've hit him. Oh wow. So he's down to 1. He would have lost if I'd have suspected that would happen, but I didn't want to have my 5/4 attack into the 3/2, and that's literally why I did that in that order. I mean, he's once again having to use up his second shield block now, so that's both shield blocks used as well. You might have a shield maiden, you might have some... it's very rare you'll see a warrior use heal bots, from what I've seen anyway. So that's unlikely in my opinion. Here he's having to try and get Grim Patrons, but he's unable to use them straight away as he's not got the means to activate charge. So he's now slamming. Okay. So he's I see what he's going for. He's going for a board clear. He should really use one of his Grim Patrons, really, to attack into my 3/2. But then again, that works too. I didn't realise I was actually at such low health. I just keep chipping into him now, I think. He can do 12 damage, so if he can take out this, which is why I hit into it to kind of stop a shield slam. I know he's got no executes left. He's used both his slams, I think. He might have won, but from well, I'm pretty sure he's used 2. It's very much a precarious situation now. Based on that, that's either him showing off or he's hoping to like stay in the game longer. So that's Emperor Thorazon, so that's kind of like goes to prove my theory more. So I should have enough here, I think. 8 and I've got 4. Yeah, I've got enough.
Sorry that happened.
Power of Overload.
Choose death. Well played.
So that was a tough game, but we are once again victorious. So that was a really good game. I'm quite happy with that. We are back, guys, in Tavern Brawl.
I must protect the one. For Doomhammer.
With the hope being, we can win a game. And get our pack. I think everything is great there. Druid, like we said last time, it's all about making sure we can get it's very similar to how Warrior is in that if he gets to turn 4, swipe's an issue, so dealing with that as quick as possible is important. I think I'll just give him a distraction now in the early game. I mean, why not? Let him throw his hero power at it. Wow, using Wrath, fair enough. Makes sense, I suppose. Gives him some draw options.
My greeting.
So we've got nothing we can do on turn 2, so we'll just have to end. Okay, so it's gone quite well for us because now we can take advantage of Unbound Elemental. Hopefully he won't Earthswipe, but if he does, you know, there was nothing I could do about it. Except, like, stall out. That wouldn't have made much sense to me. Oh, wow. So this is quite interesting. So we're in a position now where it's him kind of having a really good deck from now on, versus me who's got a really big advantage now. So I'm going to take advantage of that full force. I mean, this guy's going to get beefed up to no end. Next turn I'll be able to Lava Shock, get back all my stuff.
The elements will destroy you.
Maybe he'll realise that he's like made a mistake here. Nourish, really good there. In fact, that was extremely lucky. To suddenly have a free card hand now. You know, that's how luck works. Works for everyone. Kind of advance our army.
Elements guide me.
Next turn we can make use of Earth Elemental. If he's got any taunts here, I'll be quite annoyed. That's the exact taunt I was thinking of as well. Can I deal with it otherwise? That does 3. I don't think I can. It's annoying.
I wonder.
Half tempted just to pass it. I think that's what I'll do. I think of the late game, I think that, you know, yes, I could trade off here, but I want to be extremely greedy. See what he does here, it'd be interesting. I mean, what can he do? Dr. Beam? Fair enough. So I've got 5. I've got loads of damage here. I think we'll start off strong. Going to a Fort Lightning maybe. That makes sense to me. And I think we win. Booyah! It paid off. The wait did pay off. So I hope you've enjoyed, guys. If I've enjoyed, we'll finish off by opening this pack, because, you know, why not? Really enjoyed it. It's been good. That Astral Communion play was the worst thing I could have done if you knew what I was playing. Oh, just a plain old common. Maybe it was gold. No. Never mind. Thank you for watching, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed. And yeah, let me know in the comments what class you want me to cover for an upcoming one, and I'll try and theme a deck around it. And yes, other than that, goodbye.